with the 4-inch turbo. Negative 127. Negative 127 was 616 horsepower. All right. So we put the 88 millimeter on, which spooled up a little better, makes a little more boost. And guess what? We picked up 30 couple horsepower. Let's see. We went from 616 to 643. That's nice. And on the 00, we went from 666 to 686. So we picked up 20 horse with 00. 127.0, we picked, let's see, we got to 725 or 727 horsepower compared to 706. So 20 horsepower. Picked up 20 horsepower by going to a smaller turbo. If you want to see some of the numbers, this is kind of nice. Pull this down. So here's your peak torque was 2447 at 1463, and peak horsepower was 727.4 at 1840. But there again, nice flat power curve. Now here's probably one of the bigger differences. Let me just take the two highest. I'm going to take the two highest, the 127.0 with each turbo, and just do a comparison of those. Let's go into, sorry, I'm not looking at the phone, I'm looking at this computer screen. Let's go to, let's look at boost real quick. Alrighty, so the 88 millimeter made a lot more boost. Made 35, looks like that was about the peak 35, whereas the 4-inch or the 100 millimeter peaked at about 28. But the drive pressure for both of them are just sweet. I mean, look at that. There's 2,050 RPM, and anything 250 down, the drive pressure is way lower than the boost. That is just fantastic. Let's go to the temperatures, because that was pretty different as well, I think. So, yeah, so no name set. So this is no name 5, this is the 4-inch turbo. I stopped the run at 1600 because it was pretty hot. It was 1376 at 1600, whereas the 88 millimeter was only at 1228 at 1600, and I dragged it on down. Actually, I have another run. Let me click on that. I dragged one down to 1200. There, let's use that one. Look at that. So even as low as 1400, it was only 1312 degrees. That's pretty decent. So that was pretty cool. So definitely the smaller compressor, even with the same size turbine, did better. And let me drag this over here. I'll show this now that we have the run that I took all the way to 1200. That's still too low for that big of a turbo, but so this is no name 8 boost. So there's your boost and drive pressure. But even down at 1200 RPM, this is pretty interesting to think that an HX83 80 millimeter with a G trim turbine was still making 26 pounds of boost at 1200 RPM, and was making 16 pounds of back pressure at that same. That is sweet. Of course, the crossover for boost and back pressure is 1927 on that combination. The bigger compressor actually did cross over at a higher point, but this is really not a usable. Running a 100 millimeter turbo as a single for a 700 and let me go, what was it? 700 and basically a 700 horsepower engine is just not really practical. But at 88, I think it's going to be good. Hopefully, when we start adding more and more fuel to it, maybe the boost will go up and we won't raise the temperature dramatically. But we'll have to see. But anyway, just thought I'd show you that this is all on the same 198 series, 25-year-old, 500 horse, 1850 torque file with 59 injectors. So, all right. Hope you find it somewhat interesting. We'll make better videos once I get some kind of a, like maybe a, whatchamacallit, GoPro like on my head or something. Because just using the camera, I mean, you can see it shaking. But anyway, oh, here. Let's say hi to Boo Boo. He stopped in. Hi, Boo Boo. He thinks it's time for dinner. Hi, buddy. You good boy. Yeah, he's a good kitty. All right, y'all take care.